that big money. And as much as you got the whole, oh, son, following in your footsteps thing, every time my son says something about wrestling, I go, son, listen, I love wrestling as much as the next guy. I'm very proud that I've done it, and I'm very proud that you want to follow me. Son, go play football. Go play baseball. Go play basketball. Because the dollar amounts that they're playing with are stupid. They don't even make sense. They don't compute in calculators, man. Trust me, you'll appreciate this later. Go play football. Go make $50 million, and then the WWE will trip over themselves to sign you after your 5-year NFL career is over. Trust me when I tell you, the economics are slightly different than they were when I was growing up. When I was growing up, shoot, I don't think 3 players in baseball made as much money as I don't think 3 teams in baseball made as much money as one player does nowadays. It's that much different. So, then again, my dad grew up in the day when them cats had jobs in the off season. So, Giancarlo Stanton won't be having a job in the off season anytime soon. He'll have plenty of time to play catch with his kids when they feel like tossing the old ball in the backyard. So yeah, I tell my son all the time, I'm like, hey, if you want to wrestle, that's cool, man. And you could be John Cena, man. You could make millions, but even John Cena doesn't make as much money as a bum in the NBA. I'm just saying, man. No, actually, John Cena makes a truckload of money, but the average WWE wrestler does not make as much money as the bum on the bench that never plays in the NBA. So I always tell my son to keep that in mind. I said, if we're talking about love of the game, and go out there and do whatever you want. But if we're talking about dollars, I'm just going to let you know some, just giving you all your information. You go out there and justify it however you want. But anyways, guys, hey, couple of things I noticed. I mentioned it, and actually the Motley Crue song was the setup for talking about a little bit of girls hoops here. And you know what? I shouldn't even say that because it's just straight hoops. You guys know UConn and what they do up there. The UConn women's team falls last night to Stanford, 88-86, snaps a 47-game winning streak, which is nothing for UConn because them women Huskies followed up a 90-game winning streak previously with this 47-gamer. And what's funny is that it was Stanford that snapped both of them. Back in 2010, Stanford snapped the 90-game unbeaten streak for the women Huskies. This time, 47. The Huskies hadn't lost since falling to Notre Dame in the 2013 conference tournament 47 games ago, man. An amazing streak. And I'll tell you what, Stanford, crazy. They ended 3, all of them, by the way, with UConn. But I'm sorry, the one was with Baylor. They've snapped 3 of the 6 longest winning streaks in women's basketball, 42, 47, and 90 games. Stanford has stepped up in 2010, 2012, and 2014. And basically every other year they snap somebody's streak. So if you're streaking 24 months from now, watch out because the Stanford and the Cardinal are coming for you. But incredible run, 47 games in a row, incredible run. But for them, they're like, we were only halfway to the last one that we did. So hats off to the UConn women for the streak and Stanford for knocking that one off. Speaking of college hoops, the Vikings last night began the home portion of their season. CSU Vikings hoops got a victory over Tiffin, bounced back from that loss to Iona to start the season, and it was good to see them get out there and pick it up. 78-62 final score last night for Coach Waters and the crew as they continue their success. Coach has always done relatively well with the home openers. I believe it was 7-1 in his career at home. But last night, good performance, 78-62. They defeated Lake Erie and, the wrong score. Anyways, Vikings with the victory last night. Season now continues on to the tournament coming up here this weekend. And there we go. That's what was wrong. Talk about having the wrong page open in your schedule. There we go right there. Let's get back to that one. 85-56 final score of the season. Amazing. The Anyways, long day, long show. 85-56, the final score there as they defeated Tiffin last night. I'm not even gonna justify what just happened with an answer. Cleveland State improves to 1-1, and Tiffin falls to 1-2 on the season here. Anton Grady, big game. 26 points, 9 of 13 shooting last night, 7 boards to go along with that. Marlon Mason with 8 boards, 12 points. Trey Lewis, 15 points, 2 of 5 from 3 last night, and a good effort off the bench. Got a lot of guys into the game. DeMonte Flanagan, saw a bit of him last night, 6 points, 3 of 4 shooting, and a good team effort. Vikings shot 35% from three-point last night, 51% from the floor. They held Tiffin to 43% shooting, and pretty much dominated that game from buzzer to buzzer. Second half, you really saw the pull away from the CSU Vikings. First half was a relatively close one there. Vikes now head on to their first tournament action here coming up this weekend. Matter of fact, it's one of those multi-school tournaments coming up. Anton Grady, by the way, last night set a career high with that, 26 points, snapped the 23 that he had against Green Bay. It's now his second 20-point game. And the Vikes, talking about that three-point percentage, they've now hit at least 3 threes in 52 straight games, and they've hit at least 5 in 18 consecutive games, continuing that three-point to be a big, big part of their overall repertoire. 500 plus, 503 straight games, the Vikes have hit at least 1 three-pointer. Vikings now 8 straight home openers. It was 8-1, not 7-1, under Coach Gary Waters in home openers, and overall 42-42 in home openers. Now CSU back in action on Wednesday. Jacksonville State at the Wolstein Center. It is part of a 4-game trip not trip, but a scheduling block of the Global Sports Showcase. And this is a big opportunity. First chance for the Vikes to be seen on TV. ESPN3 is going to carry this one. You can also hear it on the radio. I believe HK is going to carry the game. WHK, Al Pulowski will be on the call, and we'll talk about that tomorrow too. Speaking of basketball tomorrow, the Cavaliers will be doing their thing with the Spurs, looking into both of those coming up tomorrow as well. The Buckeyes Hoop Squad, men's hoops, they're getting at it tonight. Buckeyes and Marquette, 7:30. Is the tip-off with that one. Bucks looking to follow up a successful start to their season. Columbus Blue Jackets, after getting off the schneid, they're looking to keep their season improvement going. I believe they're looking to make it 3 in a row here with this one coming up. They take on Detroit tonight at 7, so there's a lot of stuff to get into, guys, and a lot of stuff to come back here and talk about tomorrow. We're going to talk, of course, Cavaliers, preview the Spurs, get you all set for that one. We will have my man, Dan Wismar, in the house. We'll talk some Buckeyes, both Buckeyes hoops and Buckeyes football, as we always do with Dan Wismar tomorrow. We will, you name it, we're into it as we hit the midweek hump day edition of the Sports Fix. Get you downhill and running and heading towards the weekend. We'll preview that Vikes game as well and so much more. Same bad time, same bad channel, live at noon. Right here on the Sports Fix. Thanks to Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com for joining us. I always kind of dig Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I know, I dig every day of the week, and maybe I like Tuesdays and Wednesdays because they're the Fridays, Mondays, Thursdays. A lot of football talk, big audiences on those days. You don't have to try to draw a crowd on those 3 days, man. There's tons of people listening to the show. Maybe I just have a soft spot for Tuesdays and Wednesdays because we get to talk a little bit of everything. We get to talk some hockey. We get to talk about college hoops. We get to talk about get to have some of those different conversations. And today was one of them. Thanks to Doug Plagens, voice of the Lake Erie Monsters, for being with us. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com, and as always, Dr. Football for joining us here as well. Again, tomorrow, catch us here. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan and I will be doing the Sports Fix thing live at noon, right here across the Sports Fix Radio Network. We love you, Cleveland. We'll see you tomorrow, right here on The Fix.
Survival's a must on these streets. We hustle, don't sleep. Out here in Cleveland, Cleveland, Cleveland.
Great tailgating includes